All right, we have a buy or sell for Allen Robinson in Dynasty. And there's going to be a lot of videos that we have to redo because things are constantly changing and opinions are changing, rankings are changing. So now we need to talk about Allen Robinson. Robert Woods is gone. This is huge. One of the biggest reasons I was worried. Let's not forget in 2021, didn't have a great year from Allen Robinson. Injuries, Justin Fields play, Andy Dalton play, missed 5 games. So now we have to ask, Badake, in Dynasty, we're both going to get a take. Are you buying, trading for, or selling, trading away Allen Robinson?
Yeah, I am buying Allen Robinson. And after the Robert Woods trade, it just solidifies, what I believe in Allen Robinson, maybe what the Rams believe in Allen Robinson. And I know the conversation was, well, where's the targets coming from? Robert Woods was there. OBJ could potentially get re-signed. Now that Robert Woods is gone, let's really focus on OBJ, because that's still the potential. Not OBJ, maybe just anyone. Okay, OBJ tore his ACL February 7th, the Super Bowl. Okay,
right.
If he were to get signed, the average recovery time for an ACL tear 6 to 9 months. Best case scenario, he is back August 6th. That's 6 months. He is Superman. My guy he's coming back. I don't think we've ever seen a guy come back from an ACL that fast. Okay, not saying that will happen, but that's just best case scenario if they were to sign OBJ. Worst case scenario, 9 months from February 7th is November 7th. Which will be week 9. Not to mention the time OBJ still has to get used to that ACL tear. This is the second time, if I'm not mistaken, he tore that same ACL, and he has to trust it again. That takes time. The rhythm comes back. He's just not going to come back on the field and say, you know what, I'm demanding 15 or 10 targets a game. So that's why I'm comfortable taking, Allen Robinson, maybe where he's going, or trading for him. Now,
just quickly, the more you think about that, what you just said, it makes more and more sense as to why they went out and signed Allen Robinson.
Absolutely.
When you look at OBJ's injury. And even this team wants to win now.
Even if they were to sign OBJ now, I think there's still a comfortable window for all of Allen Robinson's workload to happen in the beginning of the season. Let's say they do sign him maybe right after this video, they sign him. That's okay. Yeah. I just told you when he's coming back. The hypothetical timeline.
Right. Who knows what changes from now to when we post this video?
Exactly. Jeez. Who knows what changes? So now let's go to Robert Woods. Roberto Woods, my guy. The guy I absolutely love. That was my guy. Okay. Now Allen Robinson comes in. No disrespect to Roberto Woods. I do believe Allen Robinson is a better wide receiver overall. Like I said before, Robert Woods was on pace to be wide receiver 12 before he got hurt, averaging 7.6 targets per game, averaging 15.2 fantasy points per game. Robert Woods was on pace for 129 targets. I believe Allen Robinson can see that or more coming into this season. I think there's no doubt that he will be a top 12. He can finish top 12 with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp may not be wide receiver 1 again, maybe wide receiver 5, 4, whatever the case may be. Allen Robinson will be there. He's going to get the touchdowns. I think this really evens out the playing field now for Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson, because Cooper Kupp, my guy, was getting all the looks. Everyone was doubling him. They still couldn't do it.
I'm not so convinced that's going to change, but
100%. I'm not saying that will. I'm just saying, I expect teams now to double. I mean, it was happening in the second half of the season. They just still couldn't do it. They still couldn't do it. So they're going to try something new this year, and Allen Robinson is going to be there to kind of break it up and make everything all right again.
Okay, so I am cautiously buying depending on the price, which we'll discuss here in a second. We still don't know where OBJ will play. So there is, right now, I really do believe that there is a risk reward in the market for buying Allen Robinson, depending on the price that you spend, okay? Because while it might not affect redraft this year, we didn't expect Allen Robinson to get a 3-year deal. So why wouldn't OBJ get a deal like that if he came back? It's definitely something to consider, and maybe the Rams get a discount on that 3-year deal. But there are some things that are in common, because you claimed Allen Robinson could be a top 12 wide receiver this year, right?
Well, he was on pace. Robert Woods was on pace for that. If he does get his targets.
And you think Allen Robinson can fill that?
He can fill that, yes.
So every top 12 wide receiver year for Allen Robinson has one thing in particular. I looked at every year that he finished top 12, and it's targets. The target share was always in his favor. In 2015, he was a wide receiver 6, 151 targets. That's 9.4 targets per game. In 2019, wide receiver 8, 154 targets, 9.6 per game. Okay, in 2020, Wide receiver 9, 151 targets, 9.4 targets per game. Okay. So you see a trend here. Typically, if AROB gets over 9.4 targets per game, he has a good chance to finish as a top 12 wide receiver. So originally, I was like, no, he's not going to be top 12. He's not going to be anywhere close, because if you look at last year's splits in targets per game with the Rams wide receivers, you had Kupp at 11.2 per game. You had Woods at 7.6, OBJ at 6, Higbee at 5.6, Van Jefferson at 5.2. And my thought process was, where is Allen Robinson going to fit in here? Because it's hard for me to see. I know he's going to be good with this team, and the offense is going to be good, but it's hard for me to see how he's going to be fed targets, right? Now that Woods is gone, I can definitely see the value. However, what about OBJ? I mean, weeks 12 to 18, he really caught his stride. Wide receiver 22 in that span, 6.4 targets per game, and 5 touchdowns. So let's play this devil's advocate here, okay? Because I'm really in the middle, if you can't tell. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that OBJ is gone and Robert Woods. What does that mean for the target share here? Let's assume that that's the case. Let's have a glance at what I believe could happen.
Right.
Now, Kupp had 11.2 targets per game last year. He's due for some regression, let's be honest. So let's put him at 10.5 targets per game.
Right.
Surely there will be some regression. I think Allen Robinson can slot into the 8 to 8.3 target per game category here. You got Van at 6, Tyler Higbee at 5, and maybe who knows if they bring in someone else, right? So if that is the case, if OBJ and Woods are both gone, because I can't think only about the first 8 weeks of the season. I'm investing into him.
Absolutely.
For a dynasty. I can't think about only that. So if AROB plays all 17 games, and that is the case, we could be looking at 140 plus targets this year.
Sheesh.
And a possible top 20, I would say top 17 to 20 finish. That is possible. Right. I don't know that top 12 is going to happen. I could be wrong. If the target share comes in, it's a possibility. I think top 12 is the ceiling. I think more realistically, we're looking at top 17 to 24 finish, because, you have to keep in mind that's 8.3 targets per game is what I'm considering that he could probably get, which is great. But again, it's not the top 12 targets that he would need. And the difference between being top 12 and top 24, sometimes it's not as big as we realize. Sometimes it is, you got 5 more targets and caught 4 more balls. So I think that there is value here is what I'm trying to get at. But I'm cautious, right? Okay. I mean, worst case scenario for AROB, OBJ signs a 3-year deal in LA. Yeah. Because then you have to think about OBJ for the next 3 years right alongside him. Yeah. That would really limit his upside. So thus you can see this risk reward dance I am currently doing with Allen Robinson. And at the end of the day, when we start the season, if you bought him and no one comes in, you're going to see the reward. Yeah. But if you bought him and OBJ comes in and maybe they draft someone, then you're going to see the risk. It's going to be clear. So I guess it all comes down to price. Yeah. So you are 100% buying, no questions asked. Obviously depending on price, what is that price for you? What is it going to, what are you going to give up?
Yeah. I had Allen Robinson. If I was buying, I had Allen Robinson in multiple leagues. I've actually tried to sell him before and nobody wanted to give up. They kept giving me a second. Now I think if I'm going out to buy Allen Robinson, I'm willing to give up that late first. Not in 2023, but if you can give up one of these late first in the 2022 draft class, why not try to get him with that? I think that's okay. I'm willing to take that chance. We know what he's done. It's that compared to one of these rookies, we don't know where a George Pickens, a Chris Olave, Jahan Dott's going to go. We love these guys. But
so you're willing to give up a late first to get him?
To get Allen Robinson, correct.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure, because you were saying from the selling perspective. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, because I wanted to say from a selling perspective, this is what I was trying to get, and I wasn't getting that. So now that I'm selling, or now that I'm buying, I think you can actually get what I was trying to get before when I was selling. So yeah, late first, I think is really comfortable right now. And like I said, like every time you would say, sometimes we overdraft these young talent guys. And
sometimes we think too hard on it.
Yeah, we think too hard. Like, we just know this guy's proven. He's been a top guy for a very long time before, obviously not last year. But now he comes in with a stable and a fantastic quarterback in Matthew Stafford. there's opportunity for Allen Robinson moving forward, I believe.
So I agree. What worries me is what I did see from Allen Robinson last year. Okay. I'm not saying it was his fault, but partly it was. And I think Matthew Stafford, look, Allen Robinson has never had a quarterback like Matthew Stafford. Okay. Let's get that extremely clear. I think his quarterbacks, I actually wrote this down: Blake Bortles, Chad Henne in Jacksonville, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles in Chicago, and then rookie year, Nick Foles.
Right.
So I think Stafford is fantastic for AROB. However, unless I'm a win now team, I really don't want to give up a late first. And I would feel more comfortable with an early second. And even then, I'm questioning, because I loved getting Jahan Dotson in the late second. I love getting Sky Moore there. So there's this risk reward I'm kind of facing.
Right.
And if I am a win now team, yeah, go ahead and give up the 112. But I don't want to give up the 108, 107, 109, 10, 11. You know, I don't want to be pushed there, because the NFL can change so often, and who knows what could happen next in this offseason. So for me, ideally, I'm giving up the 204.
Okay.
I don't know that's going to happen. That's why I said I'm cautiously buying, because I don't know who's going to accept that, but maybe someone will. I would say, you know, another approach is, if you're already doing trades, make him that piece that you add in. Right? Make him that piece that you add in to make the deal happen. So let's talk about startup drafts. In our most recent mock, he went as a wide receiver 42, Badake, which is crazy.
Yeah.
That was in the 9th round, which is a steal. If that's going to be his startup value, I'll take him there all day.
Yeah, I agree. I like him there. It makes sense. It's super easy, super simple. I can see him going even higher, maybe mid 7th round, depending on how the board falls. But 8th round feels very, very comfortable. And the 9th, 8th round feels very comfortable to me.
Agreed. All right. So comment down below. Are you buying or selling AROB? Again, it's all about price for me here. It's all about price. The risk reward dance we are constantly doing in the trade market. I love it. I thrive on it. I feel like what's that from? Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
Anyway, comment down below.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLandFam.